Hi, the SI meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Wednesday, April 30th. A cold, wet morning here in the Mid-Atlantic region. Heavy rain will continue off and on right through tonight, and there will be some nasty thunderstorms developing, at least for parts of the Mid-Atlantic region, as warmer air tries to advance northward. Initially, the warmer air will ride up and over the chilly air mass now in place here in the northeastern part of the country, but eventually warmer air will in fact push in first in the DC metro region, where afternoon temperatures should jump up into the 60s. In Philadelphia metro region, they're way down in the 40s this morning, should primarily hold in the 40s through the morning hours, jumping to the 50s this afternoon, and temperatures will actually rise tonight, perhaps through the 50s and into the 60s by early tomorrow. And even in New York City, temperatures tonight should rise through the night through the 50s, and thunderstorms are even possible up in the New York City region. That movement of the warmer air will be what will be tracked today, as that will be associated with an outbreak of thunderstorms. The most likely area for strong to perhaps even severe thunderstorm activity will be in the warm sector at the end of today or tonight, and we'll continue to track the advancement of that warm front throughout the day today. Well, let's first start off by looking at a map that the Storm Prediction Center from NOAA puts out. This is showing 850 millibar. That's the lowest part of the atmosphere, the moisture transport at those levels. And all this area where you see some color indicate high values of moisture, basically being transported from the Gulf of Mexico right up the East Coast into the region. And this is one of the first ingredients needed for flooding, rainfall, and indeed very moist air here. In fact, some parts of the panhandle of Florida reported up to 2 feet of rain in the last 12 to 24 hours or so. Places like Pensacola, Florida were absolutely inundated with unbelievable rainfall amounts, and that is indicative of how moist this air mass is, and it is now headed right up the East Coast, riding up and over this chilly air mass in place right now. Temperatures again this morning in the low 40s in the Philly metro region. You add some very moist and warmer air into this mix, and you can have the development of some strong thunderstorms later today, as well as some more heavy downpours just associated with that overrunning situation. But again, some tremendous moisture amounts, with a report of 24 inches of rain near Pensacola, Florida over the last 12 hours or so. Now, one other ingredient to this whole mess of heavy rain here in the Mid-Atlantic region, before we leave this map, is strong low-pressure system out over the western Great Lakes that is just a very slow mover. Slow movement helps to extend the period of precipitation in the Mid-Atlantic region, which of course raises the potential for flooding. The longer the period of rain, the higher the potential for some flooding. And this is very slow moving because of the upper air pattern, which is set up a blocking pattern in the upper air with the winds flowing in an omega shape, and that pushes surface systems very slowly over an extended period of time. So this low will actually continue to affect us for the next several days, as the surface low and the upper level low just move grudgingly towards the north and east. Still some instability in the Mid-Atlantic region over the weekend from this that could cause a smattering of showers up and down the I-95 corridor. Otherwise, a pretty decent weekend is headed our way. Well, here's a current radar loop from a NOAA website, and there is some heavy rain right now closing in on the Washington metro region. It's not going to rain hard at all times. There could even be some periods of just a heavy drizzle throughout the day today, but certainly heavy rain can fall at just about any time. And here is an area that has to be watched. This is associated with all that heavy rain that dumped on the panhandle of Florida. 1 to 2 feet of rain overnight tonight. We'll see if this continues to track towards the Mid-Atlantic region to the north and to the east. Some thunderstorm activity will certainly develop later on today in the destabilizing air mass that will be headed to the north. Again, warmer conditions will first reach the DC metro region and then the Philadelphia region late in the day, and overnight tonight temperatures will actually rise And exactly where and when that warmer air moves in will be tracked all day today, because that is where the development of the strong to perhaps even severe thunderstorm activity will occur. Even without those thunderstorms, there certainly is more heavy rain up and down the I-95 corridor for later today and tonight. Well, let's take a look at some computer forecast maps, but first we'll begin with the 500 millibar pattern. This is the current upper level pattern, and we just have this tremendously strong upper level low situated over the western Great Lakes, northern plains. It's just a very slow mover because of this block in the upper atmosphere, slowly moving to the north and east. And now on this southeastern flank of this upper level low is where there have been a lot of thunderstorms, and that is the region that will move into the mid-Atlantic region later on today and tonight. So as that warmer air and very moisture-laden air presses to the north and east from the Gulf of Mexico, watch out for the outbreak of thunderstorms later on today. This upper level low will actually continue to dog us here in the mid-Atlantic region right through the weekend, can cause some shower activity later Saturday, early Sunday, as that only very slowly pulls off to the north and east. It's all being blocked by this high pressure in the upper part of the atmosphere. A very intense blocking pattern has set up, and that's contributing to the flooding rainfall in much of the eastern half of the nation. Well, let's look at some surface forecast maps from last night's Zero-Z GFS model run for 6-hour increments beginning early this afternoon, and we'll go into early tomorrow afternoon. This is the isotherm we pointed out yesterday, 10 degrees Celsius isotherm at the lowest part of the atmosphere, about 850 millibars. We'll notice how that slowly moves to the north, indicative of that warm front moving in. And again, in the warm sector, south of that warm front is the greatest chance for some strong and severe thunderstorm activity later today and tonight. Again, this is early this afternoon. Strong south winds setting up on the south side of that warm front, and it'll be cold this morning in the Philly metro region, but it'll start to warm up this afternoon, and especially tonight temperatures will rise, and heavy rain is depicted on the warm side of that frontal system up and down the I-95 corridor and into the Appalachian Mountains, where significant rainfall will also accumulate over the next 12 to 24 hours. 6 hours later, that 10-degree isotherm at 850 millibars has advanced all the way to the New York City region. Temperatures will rise slowly through the night in the Philadelphia metro region and hold in the 60s at mild levels in the D.C. metro region. Thunderstorms will break out all the way up to New York City. There's a possibility of thunderstorms. Again, the greatest chance for the strongest thunderstorms, or perhaps severe thunderstorms, will be down in the warm sector, perhaps south of the Mason-Dixon line. But again, we'll monitor that throughout the day today here at the siweather.com. Here's the forecast map for late tonight. 6 hours later, that 10-degree isotherm at 850 millibars now on the north and east side of New York City. Heavy rainfall from New York City down to D.C. and the possibility of some strong to severe thunderstorm activity, especially south of the Mason-Dixon line. And again, heavy rainfall will extend all the way up the coast. Still have that southerly flow out of the Gulf of Mexico right into the mid-Atlantic region. Let's now jump ahead another 6 hours. And here's the forecast map for tomorrow morning, early tomorrow morning. Now notice there's a little bit cooling starting to move into the western part of Pennsylvania, and that cool front will actually slide through the mid-Atlantic region from west to east, bringing an end to this heavy rain event. So again, the steadiest and the heaviest rain will wind down early on Thursday. Certainly doesn't mean we're completely out of the woods. It can be a couple more showers, maybe even a thunderstorm, even into the afternoon hours on Thursday. But the steadiest and heaviest rain should pull out early tomorrow morning. And finally, by tomorrow afternoon, you can even see the depiction of a cool frontal system right here, right along the I-95 corridor. Most of that rain will be off the coast by early tomorrow afternoon. But again, there still can be a lingering shower or even a thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon. So heavy rain today and tonight up and down the I-95 corridor. Not a continuous heavy rainfall. There will be periods of lighter rain or drizzle in between the heavy rain bands, and there can be the development of some strong to perhaps even severe thunderstorms, especially in the warm sector. Those areas that see temperatures jumping later today and tonight, and we'll track all that thunderstorm activity throughout the day here at the SIweather.com. That's it for now on the SI Meteorologist, Paul Dorian.